Welcome to Fujian province on China's southeast coast. It's taken me 4 hours to get here by air and road from Beijing. And why am I here? Well, I've come in search of a very special type of leaf. Hey, welcome to Travelogue. You know, this place looks just like any other town, but this is actually China's tea country. You see all of that over there? That is the home of China's most famous and precious white tea. But this place is a bit of a hidden gem. Besides tea, it also has coastal mountains, it's got a really traditional seafaring culture and a wealth of other things to discover. So, join me on this episode to discover everything that this place has to offer. Welcome to Travelogue, I'm Tianran, and welcome to Fuding. 江离水是干净的，被卤啊，比较丰富。哦，干净，这不是海水吗？不是。哦，海水在哪儿啊？海水在下面。哦，下边是海。下面是海。哦，再下去。Turns out that despite its modern image, people here still enjoy doing things the old-fashioned way.
咱们福鼎不大吧？福鼎不大的，福鼎只有这么大。 就从那儿走到那儿，1个小时之内就到了。对，就很舒服。只有几十万人口。哦，50多万人口。50多万人口。
Running through the heart of the city is the Tong River. Its banks are a popular place for the locals to hang out and talk shop. Further downstream, the Tong empties into the East China Sea.
Just realised after arriving that it's really warm here and I'm not really well equipped, so went and spent 25 RMB to get myself a nice pair of slippers.
The pace of life here is still quite relaxed, despite Fuding's modern edge. At weekends, visitors flock here from cities like Wenzhou in neighbouring Zhejiang province, just 90 minutes drive away. They come to cool off, and maybe more importantly, chow down on the cheap and fresh local seafood.
The current is quite strong over here, but even though it's quite cold, really comfortable, you know. And I guess if you swim all the way down, then you just end up in the East China Sea, and then you could swim wherever you want, all the way to Taiwan maybe.
The water here is good, as you've probably gathered from the abundance of bird life. And despite the huge numbers of carp in the river, the locals still prefer their saltwater cousins.
钓鱼那里，有收获吗？没有啊，里头没东西。Just bumped into a gentleman who was making his way home. He was fishing, and what's really interesting about this place is that over here, where the water's really calm, that's the Tong River, and right here is where it meets the sea of the East China Sea. So, if you really feel like it, you can have one pole to go freshwater fishing, and then another to fish for water from the deep sea.
Go for a walk along the river, and it's like taking a peek into the heart of the city and its residents. Water is central to the life here, not least because we are, after all, in tea country. In Fuding, there's no missing all the shops selling the local white tea. It's not drunk much outside of southern China. That said, in recent years, white tea has been experiencing a renaissance of sorts amongst China's tea lovers. Key to the flavour of white tea is the processing. In order to preserve the natural taste of the tea leaves, the only thing done to them is they're sun-dried. The end result is a tea that tastes as close to its original state as possible.
这个茶就可以喝了吧？可以了。我可以尝一口。哦，好，谢谢。这是什么茶呀？那这是那个白茶的，白茶那个尖儿吧？是。
对，是银针，就是淡海芽头的。
就是等于是这一群茶里，只是这种是最好的嘛？能这样说？
最高的。
哦。很好喝，很好喝。我不会表达。I have no idea what to say about tea. I mean, it was very light, with just a little bit of, a bitter aftertaste. But it feels like spring in your mouth. And I know that sounds really cliched, but this is the newest tea of the spring, and I guess it does reflect the seasons when you have a cup of this. 可以再来一杯。
真的话，它的口感会比较清甜，而且像你喝到后面的话，回甘很甜。
Oh. So I've learned a little bit more about white tea. It's one of the few teas that can actually be aged. So if you look over here, you can see how the leaves themselves actually change over time, getting, I guess, a bit darker, a bit wider. But also, like good alcohol, the older the tea is, the more expensive it is. So down here, you have a 13, 20, 25 and a 40-year-old tea, which at that point becomes 45,000 RMB per half kilo, which is way more than its weight in gold. And the cup I'm holding right now is a 15-year-old tea that's worth 6,000 RMB per half kilo. And you do not want to drop a single bit of this anywhere other than your mouth. So down we go. So I've got to be honest, I don't really know much about tea, but from what I have learned, there are 6 main types of tea in China. Besides green tea, black tea, red tea, there's also white tea, of course, there's yellow tea, and there's another kind of green tea, but the main difference between them, besides species, is the way they're processed. And white tea is probably processed in the most original way, in that all that's done to it is it's sun-dried. And it also gained popularity in Germany and the UK before it did in China. But also white kind of means pure, so that's why white tea was used as a commemorative tea in Prince William and Kate's wedding. The old adage is always true. The fresher they are, the tastier they are. But obviously, alive is best. 走了啊！啊，走了。吃什么呀？哪个是最新鲜的？现在？
我们现在啊，那个称现在最那个旺季，旺季这个称。
Actually, since we're right by the sea, the seafood is pretty much permanently in season.
叫什么？这叫七水。
吃水啊，出水
石头里面的对，也是我们这个野生的，对，也是我们一代。我们的特产，这个是在宜山大外面才有这些，我们这边很少的这边。
有点像是什么
？This seafood street is the place to go for the freshest catches of the day. Just follow your nose and you'll find it.
哇，这可真没见过呀！
它一整只皮都可以剥掉。
I had no idea fish wore jackets. This street might not look like much, but trust me, at the weekends it's absolutely packed with foodies from the nearby provinces. Best of all, the prices here are very decent and they cook them just how you like them. If you like to drink, try the local huangjiu or yellow liquor. It goes great with seafood. Got a veritable feast of the sea's bounty over here. Actually, Fuding is very well known for all of its local snacks and seafood. So over here we've got the flounder I was taking pictures of earlier. This is a local delicacy, which is fish balls in soup. You've got this kind of sweet yam dessert here, and this thing is a kind of shellfish which grows between the rocks and has a really strange name. Nobody knows what it is, but absolutely delicious. Tastes like crab. Despite the rain, we're heading up to Fuding's #1 attraction, Taimu Mountain. Apparently there's a tea festival on today, and Taimu Mountain is the perfect location as it's the home to China's original white tea tree. Well, as you can see, rainy season has started in full and it's really muggy today, but that hasn't stopped people from coming here to enjoy a nice cup of tea and this awesome one-man band. I'm going to get a closer look though. Check it out. The elusive magic box, eh?
选择充号的私信影像，以讲究相得益彰。在此，我们采用了私人系统，获得
没那么容易啊！好玩一跑，这是您自己设计的吧？
自己设计。
这1个、2个、3个、4个、5个、6个乐器在里头。然后您总共有多少乐器啊
？6个鼓，这个打1个，7个，吹1个，8个，拉2个，同时开始10个。
After that welcome tea break, it's time to start climbing. Guys, this is the famous Taimu Mountain. You've got the, you've got the peaks over there. You've got rivers over there. What? You mean you can't see anything? What are you talking about? Come up here. Look. Here we go. Taimu Shan welcomes you. So, these towering peaks coming up from the earth, reaching towards the sky, they look like a group of Arhats running fast with their monk gowns, fluttering in the wind, as if they're rushing towards the White Cloud Temple for a meal. And that's why these peaks are called the 18 Arhats rushing for a meal. What, you can't see it? Yeah, okay, the fog is a bit dense today.
That means we've got more time to take a look at the Hall of the 500 Arhats. There is an incredible story behind this place. The idea of building this temple came to its founder in a dream. In the year 2000, Master Pinshan dreamt he was visited by a bodhisattva who implored him to build a hall dedicated to the 500 Arhats. Even though he was already 70, he went on several trips to Myanmar to source a material worthy of such an undertaking. Finally, in 2005, construction was finished, with 500 life-size statues of the Arhats carved entirely out of Myanmar white marble.
做500个罗汉啊，是啊，他那当时这个他去缅甸去了多少趟？因为这个
去了2、3趟
，2、3趟，
也是蛮辛苦的
啊。是啊，这请回来500罗汉，挺不容易的。然后每一个罗汉都是跟咱们人的高矮都差不多哈。
他的雕刻，
咱们在这儿雕的还是在那边雕的？
在那个贝岸雕的。
哦，
就那个500罗汉那个也是那个。前世纪或者是前亚洲也是独一无二的，没有这么多的汉白玉的罗汉。
The numbers are impressive, but there's something else about these statues that's got me intrigued. And on a tour of the temple, which I was able to take courtesy of the abbot, I finally get the answer to a question that's been bugging me.
So I've noticed something quite interesting about these Arhats. On some of the statues, the foreheads are just absolutely huge. They just come out like that, like some kind of horn. And at first I thought, it probably just means these guys are quite wise because they have huge brains. But I found out afterwards that the reason they have these huge bumps is because when they go down to kowtow, they hit their heads really hard on the floor, and over many, many years it just naturally forms this gigantic bump on the head. The more you know, the better, eh? Here we go, into the unknown.
The fog really does give this place an air of mystery. Unfortunately, it also obscures some of Taimu Mountain's most famous views.
It's a bit of a shame. I'm supposed to see really beautiful scenery here. I've got the 9-carp lake behind me, got waterfalls all around me, and I'm supposed to be able to see some really beautiful mountains over there, but the fog is so dense today. I mean, I can barely even see my hand. But, well, don't have all day. No point in waiting.
Well, I suppose the upside to all this moisture is you get a chance to really cleanse your lungs. Also, not being able to see very far makes you appreciate all the small things in life.
去哪儿你们？
上去看那个湖，然后那个湖都是雾，看不清。
那又上去啊？
啊，对。
上去有什么东西我也看不见。
上去绕一圈。
哎呀，行吧，那我跟你一块上去吧。你们今天就是过来玩太武山是吗？
对。
对啊， 本身想过来看那个山顶的那个景色，不是应该挺漂亮的吗？
如果晴天，好像日出还有很多景都挺好看的。我们只能在那个观景台，然后看着他拍的图片，在那边想象一下。
我也是。
这些就是洞。
所以我们爬过这个洞，加上这个洞。
因为我们都在洞里面钻，所以
爬了很久，就爬几个小时。
是吧？
On their recommendation, I check out the caves.
Hey, cool. This is a bit of an adventure. This is the advantage of fog, isn't it? Now it feels so much more like we're actually exploring some ancient place. This area is actually called the 7-Star Cave. It's not actually a cave, it's more of a cleft between the rocks. And the reason it's called 7 stars is because there are 7 of these huge boulders that look like they're about to fall any moment. So I'm going to try and quickly go through this passage before I become rock too. Best watch your head though. Yeah. Disadvantage of fog is that there's water everywhere. Feels a bit like Indiana Jones and running through some kind of tomb and all of its gauntlets. Gotta say, wouldn't recommend this passage for you if you're claustrophobic or you're more on the wider side. But it is very, very cool looking. It's like there's some kind of prehistoric canyon. Just expect pterodactyls and dragons, not dragons, but dinosaurs flying overhead any moment. Exciting stuff.
这个就是七星洞啊！哦，七块石头喽。
再放进去。
哦。
欢迎来到这边。
这边还有人呢。
Once you decide on this route, there's no going back. It's one cave after another.
That, I don't know if you can see it clearly, but that is very, very dangerous looking. Obviously it's not, because it's been there for, I don't know, eons. But, when you do come under here, it does feel like the whole world is going to come crumbling on top of you. Apparently these passages were formed when there were tectonic movements like earthquakes, which caused a cleft in the rocks. And as the mountains parted, these boulders started falling down, making their way down. Obviously they got stuck up there, thank God. But, didn't expect this kind of environment. Bolton, 再往下。There we go. Watch your head. Careful.
It's a really tight squeeze. I can't imagine what the guys who built the staircase had to go through.
I think had a bit too much food for dinner, for lunch, I mean. Guess I'm not as thin as I used to be. There we go. I guess the belly might be a bit of a problem here, eh? I reckon before you enter the cabin you're supposed to be weighed first and have your measurements taken.
There's actually a reason why we're subjecting ourselves to all this. At the end of this cave lies the thing we've been looking for.
Well, that's quite the adventure, hey? This is the light at the end of my tunnel. This tree is the tree
that spawned all the white tea in all of Fuding, and in these days has become a bit of a holy grail, a pilgrimage site for tea lovers. There's so much to see at Taimu Mountain, you can be sure we'll be back in the next episode of Travelogue.